The next question we're going to ask about firms is how much profit did they make? And if we had numbers, price is 10 or whatever, and quantity is 2,000, we can just multiply through to get total revenue. If we have a table of cost data, we can just pick out total costs, and we can always calculate profits as total revenue minus total cost. There's going to be an equivalent definition that comes from this expression that I'm going to show you when we get to the graphical space that we use to summarize a lot of information about the firm. And not just competitive firms, but all firms will use information on average costs and marginal costs to capture a lot about what we know about the firm's production and costs in the short run. Or in a perfectly equivalent way to illustrate firm profits and to calculate it too, actually, if you have the numbers in that form, comes from our graphical presentation. Now remember that we just talked about the output rule. Firms maximize profits by producing where price and marginal cost are equal. All right, well, how much profit is that? Well, it turns out with information on average total costs, we can get at profits from this marginal cost and average cost information. All right, so first we notice that, the vertical distance between price and average total cost, that's actually average profit. That's profit per unit. And then if we multiply average profit by the quantity produced, we get the area of this rectangle, which is also profit. So here I've drawn the case where the firm is making a positive profit. P naught is greater than ATC, average total cost at Q naught. And so on every unit they're making a profit, and in total they're making a profit. The expression here, profit, is equal to the difference between P naught and average total cost times quantity Q naught. That's actually equivalent to total revenue minus total cost definition. I guess let me show you that derivation. If you don't care, just don't listen for the next minute or so. We can write profits as the following. Total revenue is price times quantity of the firm. And then we can write total cost. It seems a little strange, but remember that average total cost was total cost divided by quantity. So we can actually divide total cost by quantity and multiply by quantity. Seems weird, right? But we're just multiplying total cost by quantity over quantity, which is 1. It's an identity, right? And then notice we can factor quantity out of this expression and get P minus average total costs. That's what total cost divided by quantity is. All that multiplied through by quantity is going to give us profits. And that corresponds to this graphical representation here. Now there's two other cases you're going to want to know how to do, or I'm going to require you. You may not want to. But if you understand this positive profit case, let's move on to the negative profit case. And same idea. I'm assuming the firm's not going to shut down. I'll talk about that in the next screencast. But if the firm is producing at Q naught, but notice that its average total costs at Q naught are higher than price, that means on every single unit the firm's running a loss. I want to label that properly. That's ATC naught. Well, the profits are the same. This is their loss on every unit, and we multiply through by the number of units produced, and we get the area of this rectangle. How do we know it's a loss? Well, we know it's a loss because average total cost is higher than price, and so that's how we represent a loss. in this graphical space. You'd get a negative whatever in your calculations. And then finally, this case is going to turn out to be real important. If the firm's just breaking even, making zero economic profit, price is just equal to average total cost. So on average and in total, the firm's making zero profits. And remember, that's where marginal cost and average cost intersect. If price is always equal to marginal cost, and price is also going to be equal to average total cost, because profits are zero, well, we're going to be right at the bottom of that average total cost function. And we're going to see in Chapter 7, this is a really important long-run price. That's where markets are going to, and firms in the markets are going to tend toward in the long run in competitive industries. If we ever saw one, right? But in our imaginary case of the most extreme competition possible. Well, that's the end of our story. We'll do some practice with this next class.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.